He got in my face and threatened me a couple times. In between that, the same guy that was messing with the nurses and every girl was blaming me because I was friends with this receptionist. Only for weeks later for my grandmother to pass away. My life has been everything, but it's been a dream mixed with a nightmare. And I just want to say that for a curly haired, chubby kid that grew up watching Thundercats and wrestling and Ninja Turtles and all that good stuff and He-Man, part of that is still part of me. I'm very playful. I watch cartoons. I got one of the biggest video game collections known to man. I got one of the best action figure toy collection known to man. You know, I draw, I color. Even as a kid, I never really colored all the way into the coloring books because I would use that as a molding a stencil, and I would draw my own characters from the coloring books. I was a premature kid. That's why I got a mark on my neck right here. Because that's how they fed me food, through a tube. I was 3 pounds, 12 ounces, and I was diagnosed with something called cerebral palsy. Although, if you put me in a mix of people with cerebral palsy, I don't look like it, and I'm basically a success story. Even though there's some cocky people in the college that just because they could walk and they're not in a chair, they think they're too good. But what I want to say is that, over the years, I pretty much was always intelligent. I struggled in school, but I was always a good student. And then as a teenager, I put that into sports because I said everybody only knew me for a mind, but they never knew me for a body. And people took that the wrong way and thought I was jealous of my little brother. But in reality, I always wanted the family to be proud of me. Unfortunately, my mother chose the high road and created another family, and that kills me every day because every time I see them drive a car or get boyfriends or get married or anything, and I say to myself, why am I suffering because of something I didn't create? It doesn't matter whether I walk or not. I would have loved that support, and it seems as though my biological mom threw everything to my grandma and my aunts and uncles, but yet she wanted the credit and she wanted to be in control. I never understood that. I love my grandfather to death. He's my hero. Um, I love Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, He-Man, Thundercats, Lionel. Hulk Hogan is my greatest idol of all time, but for the most part, it's my granddad and my uncles. My Uncle Val, I hope he knows how much I love him, even though sometimes I feel he doesn't take me serious at times, but I love him to death, and I hope he's in my corner. Tia Belinda, you're like a second mom, a sister, a friend. You're my first best friend, and I love you to death, and you will never know what you mean to in my life. And so also my grandmother, to my ma, who's the only mother I ever known. Ma, I want to say that if I could trade places with you, I would, because you were a lot better person than I'll probably ever be. And you mean the world to me. And I love you. Dos damos cons the boama. And, you know, I've done a lot of cool things in my life. I traveled the world, which I hope to do again. I hope this disability or sickness or whatever you want to call it, this CP, I don't want it to beat me. I hope we find a way where I could take a vacation at least more often than every God knows how many years. I don't want it to be because I'm too heavy or this and that. I don't want it to ever stop because you're too old to climb the hurdle or you're too this and that. I want to have no regrets, no boundaries. Dream it, see it, believe it. The whole reason why I came up with the moniker and started calling myself the Dream is because everybody told me, you can't. You're not good enough. You're not good enough than this. You're not good enough than that. You're not as good as your cousins. You're not as good as your brothers and sisters. Look, I wish them all the best in their life. My sister had a kid, God bless her. I hope someday, at least, more than walking, more than all the material things in the world, I want somebody to love me. I want before I die and before I get too old, because my family's not always going to be around and I don't want to live by an aid. I don't want to live in a shelter. I don't want to be in a nursing home anymore. I want to die the way my grandmother did, in peace. I'm 35 years old and I've been living a life of somebody who's 135 and so many operations. I can't take it. The one thing that I hold dear that my Uncle Val told me is that I told him that it's hard with all the in-laws and Ralph and everybody. He said to me, you know what? I told Belinda a while ago, I don't know whether Christopher is stupid or braver than me because I would never do so many operations. I tell people all the time, they see my movements. I'm slow, but I'm strong. I started lifting weights at 12, 13 years old. When I was a little kid, my cousin Bobby, we would always fight, but I love the guy. Now we're grown up, so it doesn't matter anymore. He would slap me and then run away, thinking that I can't run back. But I used to grab him at the scruff of the neck and stuff like that, and then people realized how strong I was. I used to play fight with my cousin Jeffrey Sousa, and later on, as we became older, Bobby supported me in the sports. I won 5 medals in the Olympics. I won a couple of medals. I did some stuff in my early 20s with United Spinal Association, and everybody says everybody's so faster, everybody moves better. That's because they didn't have an illness. It was an accident that happened to all of them. My disability is affected by my hands, my mind coordination with my hands and my legs. Two different things. You know, I that's one of the reasons why I left, because I could build myself up physically, but to keep making a fool out of myself, I didn't like, and I hurt my neck and my back and my arms. So I had a good experience, and I made a real good friend and a mentor in John Henry, and Victor Khaleesi, and they still help me till this day. They're one of the key reasons why I got this nice apartment, and I will be forever grateful. I worked with them. They help me out if I need something. They hook me up with stuff, hook me up with wrestling tickets, whatever. My hobbies, my DVDs. My cousin Val, who's a genius, God bless that kid. He has a good DVD collection, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm catching up with you because that's my new hobby now. DVDs and a library. And I'm going to catch up with you, kid. God bless you. Um, you know, I met a lot. I did a lot of things, MTV. I met a lot of superstars, and I'm not done yet. I want to start going to concerts. Um, I went to WrestleMania. I went to SummerSlam. I hope to go to another SummerSlam. I hope Uncle Val, we can go to wrestling because you're my buddy, man. That's something that we do. And I want to just say to everybody, the only reason why